Hey, bonus episode.
Bonus episode.
You know, my favorite thing about the Muppet Christmas Carol is
what?
It was made in the 80s and there's zero horniness in it.
Well, it is a kids movie, dude, so it is what it isn't. I know, that's what freaks me out about so we went over to our friend Megan and Joy's the other night so that the children could play together and leave us the F alone and we could all just sit and not talk to each other.
Best friendship ever.
Oh my god, it's so great. It's awesome. You know, we order pizza and drink wine and talk a little and our children leave us alone. It's amazing. But anyways, I was telling them about watching the Muppet Christmas Carol for some reason. I was like, and you know, like, we'll get into like how Elliot reacted to that. And I was like, you know, and it was hard for me, you know, because of my puppet fear. Troy like did not remember that, but he started laughing, so like doubled over laughing. He was like, I forgot about that. And Megan was like, I don't think I ever knew about your puppet. I was like, so dear listeners, if you do not know or you do not recall, because you haven't seen me in a long time and puppets are few and far between in my life, I do have, I don't know, what would we say, moderate to severe puppet anxiety. We're not calling it fear. We call it anxiety.
I call it phobia. It's an irrational fear.
Oh, okay. I have a puppet phobia. It's not like if we're like at a thing and people are there with puppets, I'm going to like run away. Like, it's not, you know, and it's like very inconsistent because like Sesame Street does nothing to me. Like, it's very selective, my puppet anxiety. Basically just anything that's like super creepy and yeah. Fraggle Rock, no me gusta.
The super creepiness goes beyond puppets. You just can't handle scary stuff.
I don't enjoy being scared. No, I don't. Like I do, but I don't, And I think I've passed that on to my child.
Yeah. I think your child at this point is less scared of things than you are.
I don't know. We were watching a cartoon yesterday. It's like Ladybugs. It's like a French manga kind of superhero thing. And he was like, needed me to come watch it with him. There's nothing scary about it.
To you, the girl who can't watch Labyrinth.
I can watch Labyrinth because my friends in high school loved it because we were the weirdo ones. So I forced myself. Now, as I told Megan Troy the other night, am I ever going to be like, really want to watch Labyrinth? No. I will never watch it by choice. Am I going to willingly be like, Elliot, this is one of the movies you need to watch? No. That's going to be a watch at the farm with Ben movie. Are we going to do it on
Transformers next week? Did we watch it as kids?
I don't think so.
I don't either. I remember that we went to the movie theater to see some Big Bird movie. And I know we watched Sesame Street and I know we watched Muppet Babies.
Yeah.
I know Fuck Elmo. But I don't know that we watched. I mean, maybe I watched it. I feel like I watched it. But I might have even watched it like in junior high with a friend.
Yeah, because like when did it come out? Like I feel like it came out like past our childhood.
Yeah. I actually don't know. I didn't look up the year.
It was the 90s.
Yeah, maybe early 90s. Definitely had that look.
Yeah. As far as the production.
1992. That's what I was going to guess.
Yeah. So technically we shouldn't even be doing this right now, but
well, it's a bonus. So
and we watched it twice.
And you watched it more than twice, I think.
I've seen it 3 times now.
Yeah.
In the last few weeks.
Good job.
So yeah, because I don't remember how did we end up watching it that night?
We were trying to find a Christmas movie to watch with Elliot. And we had already watched Elf.
Yeah.
And we tried to pull up some of the original Grinch, and that didn't work out.
No, yeah.
Um, and then it was like, let's try Muppet Christmas Carol, and somehow it worked. So
Yes. Yeah.
I've had that Ghost of Christmas Present song stuck in my head for weeks. He was very dad.
Yeah.
And not to shit on America's Best Loved Frog, but Kermit has a terrible singing voice. I really want to like these songs, but it's hard to sing them because I keep hearing Muppet voices as the source voices. So, listeners, if there is a version of this album with real people singing, could you let me know?
Yeah.
Because it's full of bangers. I know it is. I like the
Yeah.
songs. I cannot deal with the Muppet voices. Like, I
Yeah.
can't. I can't.
Dear
Like,
indie rock bands, can you
yeah,
please cover this next
yeah.
Christmas?
The
Like, can that be
whole,
the whole
I
album?
mean, that
Dear
fucking
Zoe Deschanel,
Marley and
please.
Marley, like, come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Banger.
Elliott's been say Elliot, so he keeps calling this movie Mr. Scrooge.
Okay, that's fair.
But yeah, he's I'm trying to remember. He said something about Marley and Marley the other day, but I can't remember. Go ahead.
Woo!
Marley, Marley.
See?
And
I
my brother
forgot.
questioned, he's like, why do they have chains on?
He does keep asking that, even though they explain it in the
But they
song.
explain it via song.
Yeah, but they
So
also explain it beforehand, but that's fine. I forgot and enjoyed what a duplicitous douchebag his nephew was. That I think if anybody asks me again, what's the difference between nice and kind? I'm gonna be like,
yes.
Scrooge's nephew. That's the difference between nice and kind.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he was nice, but not kind. Like,
There's also a really great book about white women that explains the difference between nice and kind and
that's
a whole
right.
lot of other stuff.
You talked about that before. Yeah.
Oh,
But you
it's
could
been a
also
minute.
just watch the Muppet Christmas Carol. Rizzo is the star of the film. I won't hear otherwise.
Rizzo's the star of everything. Rizzo is the best thing that ever came out of the Muppets. And I'm really glad, like, Rizzo and Gonzo as a duo were good because Gonzo on his own is just too goddamn much.
Yeah,
Like,
that's fair. Yeah.
and
Well,
luckily
and
Gonzo wasn't being Gonzo.
yeah, he was being Charles Dickens, so
It was
that made it
Dickens,
more
yeah.
palatable. Yes, I think that was a
Yeah.
good idea.
Yeah.
I think that young British actors are much better at acting than they were in 1992. It reminded me of like all the stuff we watched on PBS growing up, where it's just like these little wooden children that are like, "Yes, sir. No, sir. Like, move. You're not a mummy."
Young children were in this movie.
No, we're in Scrooge's girl. The whole past. They go to his childhood. He's in the classroom.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Don't get mad at me. Shut up.
I like Rizzo
There
eating in
was a
every.
lot of puppets in this movie too.
Okay, there were.
And
Why?
if what you're saying about these children is true, then I probably just thought they were all puppets too. Like they're all like
The puppets were much more animated than the British children.
well, they're British.
Yes, sir. No, sir. Thank you, sir.
Oh my
Like,
god, obedient children. How dare they?
no, it's not that. It's the acting. You know what I'm talking about. And if you
I
don't,
know,
there are
it's
other
true.
people who listen to this podcast who know what I'm talking about. They got my back.
All right, 5 listeners. How many of you know what she's talking about? Shout us out.
I like how Rizzo was eating in every scene, and I think Brad Pitt stole that shit from him.
Yes, in
Like,
Ocean's 11. Yeah.
no, he does it all the time in a lot of
No.
movies. Yeah. Brad Pitt eating like Rizzo the Rat. The Tiny Tim Frog should be Scrappy Doo.
No, like
Wait, what?
Rizzo on the gate and then he can
That was a good
oh my
bit.
jelly beans.
Yeah, it's a good bit.
You're an idiot. Sorry, go ahead,
That's
Tiny
okay.
Tim.
I feel like the
Was it
Tiny Tim
Rich?
Frog really should have been like Scrappy Doo, where you just want to murder him, but He somehow wasn't, and I do feel like that might be the most magical thing about the movie. Because, like,
Is that
even
you
a
don't
regular
hate
kid playing Tiny Tim, you kind of want to be like, shut up.
us, everyone. Yeah,
Shut up, Tiny Tim. But that little frog kind of he did it. I really
yeah.
enjoyed watching you freaking out over goddamn puppets. That was hilarious.
Mm, mm. That little fucking ghost girl. Let's talk about British children. That Ghost of Christmas Past floating. Oh my god, with like hollowed eyes, like oh my goodness, like with the wispy voice and
That's great.
like this is what going to be. Jesus Christ, like terrifying,
I really liked
terrifying.
it when we were rewatching it the next morning and Elliot ran away during Marley and Marley. And then he came back and gave himself a little pep talk. He was like, "You watched it. You watched it before. You can watch it again." And then like came into the room like a big bright boy. Big bright kid.
Yeah, because I was not watching it that day. I excused myself to go do some work in the other room. Like I remember he like came in and I could hear it. I was like, "What is he?" Like I look corner of my eye. I'm like, "What is he doing?" Like, but I could hear him talking to himself as he slowly walked back into the room. But I didn't really hear what he was saying until you told. He's like, "You made it through it last night."
Watch it again.
He's so cute.
Could you do that so that we could rewatch Labyrinth and some other horror movies that we definitely watched as kids? Just pep talk your way through it.
Like,
You watched it before. You can watch it again.
it's supposed to be like an enjoyment thing, like that I do with my free time.
Like when they were some of my favorite lines, is this too scary? No, it's culture. I like that. I love it
Um,
when what?
hold on. What if you do the podcast with other people? We have some guests and they
That's not
watch
how
the
this
movie.
podcast works.
But it could be how this podcast works. Like I'll still be on and I'll talk about what I remember and be funny, but I'm not going to rewatch it. They
I
can
don't
watch
think
it.
I'm gonna let you on if you don't rewatch it. Like that, how is that fair?
Well, how will you know if I rewatch it or not? I could just lie.
I'm sorry, would you like to re-listen to the Back to the Beach episode? Because I can tell whether or not you've watched something. Another little bit I enjoyed was when the little rats were like, "Can we please have another fire on the log or fire on the log on the fire?" And he like screamed at them, and they were like, "Tropical heat wave!" Like, it's so good in here. It made me laugh a lot.
Can we put another lump of coal? And he's like, I'm on the unemployment. They like totally throw Carmen under the bus, or you know,
Yeah.
like,
And then I like the lamp, not the rat. That just makes me laugh a lot because he
the
says it so
rats
many
as a
times.
whole were the best thing about the
Yeah,
movie,
they were good. I don't know that they were
which is
necessarily the best thing about London during Dickensian times, but they were great
no.
in this film.
I was gonna say, in reality, rats are never the best thing of anything.
I mean, they're not that bad. Remember Ratatouille? They get a bad rap, but what is that face?
I'm sorry, do you not remember the rats in our house?
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
Oh, remember Ratatouille? Remember the cartoon movie about talking rats that can cook? I'm sorry, where's the lesson in that for me about
In the
rats?
beginning, he gives us whatever it is, gives this whole thing about how rats get all the bad rap, but it was the fleas on the rats and not them, and they're actually clean, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of
And
rat facts
then,
in Ratatouille.
and then there's so many of them in that woman's attic that the fucking ceiling caves in.
I don't remember that part.
Yeah, okay, selective memory.
But one of my favorite sideways adjacent memories of Ratatouille is in Everything Everywhere All at Once when the mom misremembers the movie and thinks it's a raccoon. So one of the alternate universes is Raccoonatouille. It's like a raccoon. Doing the cooking, it's so funny. Oh my God, that movie's great. Okay, I just have one last bit about Muppet Christmas Carol. As the internet has proclaimed, Michael Caine did act his heart out, but his best acting was at the end when he pretended to be Scrooge again. And then was like, "You get a big raise and this huge ass turkey. Like, let's party." That's all I got on Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yeah, no, I thought it was good. I mean, the Christmas present is the best of the three ghosts because Christmas features terrifying. Like even Gonzo and Rizzo were like, "Peace, we'll see you at the end, motherfuckers. You're on your own." Like this is scary. Like I thought that would scare Elliot, and it didn't seem to. But yeah, and also like we're taking a line from that last song, and as our theme for 2024. It's like we're gonna try to start each day with a thankful phrase and a grateful heart because Christmas this year made me realize or solidified the belief that my child is a spoiled fucking brat.
A little bit.
A little bit. He's always spoiled. Sometimes he's a brat about it. So we're working on the word no and hearing no and not getting
And the
toys.
practice of gratitude.
The practice of gratitude.
I was reading some college essays yesterday because I'm on a scholarship review committee this year. And many of them indicated that volunteering to help the less fortunate was a life changer for them. So perhaps
We could do a little bit of
that's
that.
something he could experience before high school.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's definitely beneficial. I'm just wondering, like, if his age, if he understands, like,
No, yeah,
you know what I
it's
mean?
going to take
Yeah,
some
like,
time.
he has a concept of like, not everything's equal.
Right. Well, and when
Right.
they're his age, everything kind of it. I mean, you can't really tell the difference between
Yeah, the
a
haves and the
well-off kid
have-nots.
and yeah.
What were you going to tell me about your writing?
I sent off 2 queries yesterday.
Nice, awesome,
Oh,
awesome.
yeah. So I'm hoping to get off 20 before the end of the month.
So, do you send like part of the book with it, or is it just like this, like
They're
the?
all different. So one of the
Okay.
agencies, you just send like basically here's one paragraph or like one sentence about the book. Like here's the genre, here's how many words it has, here's why I think you particular agent would like it. And then you basically write the back cover of the book.
Okay.
And then you do like a bio. So that was short. And then there was another one I applied to that's based out of London, that they wanted a cover letter and a 1 page summary and the first 50 pages of the book.
Oh wow. Cool.
Yeah. So I only sent the first 42 because it fell at chapter break. So it felt more natural.
Very, very proud of you.
Yeah. So I started a Google sheet to track and I put on the date because they all are like, don't call us, we'll call you unless we don't. And then I just put the like, this is the last date I can expect to hear from them. So
Yeah.
just to kind of try to track it, because you should only query one agent per agency and blah, 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 blah. So these are 2 very established agencies. So I figured I'd swing for the fences and then start hitting up the little indie darlings. The one thing about it is I'm just preparing myself for a bunch of no's. And then the other thing is I've heard a lot of first time authors speak, and usually whoever you get for your first book, you don't work with them again. Like that's just basically how you get through.
Springboard. Yeah.
And then you find somebody that's a better fit for you, which I'm like, okay, so that takes some of the pressure off too. Cause it's not like a marriage. Like it's just,
Wow.
but Harold was messaging me last night and I was like, yeah, I'm just querying agents or whatever. And he's like, why? What would you do with all that money? It was like, oh, that's like a nice compliment. I don't know if that's what's gonna happen, but thanks, dude. So
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely what's gonna happen. So
okay, you're manifesting it.
well, I mean it will, but eventually it's a good book and you'll find the right people.
For the London one, I did change everything to A4. So I was like, oh, let me try to be, because they use different size paper in England.
What size is their paper?
I don't know, whatever size A4 is. It's similar. It's like
by
it's
11
like
inches.
taller. It's taller
Centimeters.
and narrower. So it's very similar to what we use, but it's different. I gotta go so I can let this render so I can go see our uncle.
Okay. Let it render? What is it like? Are you taking fat off of something?
That's what they call it when the video processes. It's called rendering.
It's also what you do with fat.
I know.
That's weird.
I wish I could render the fat off this thing that fast. That'd be great.
You know what? That's not a comment on our physical bodies for those of you that might get triggered or be like, oh, no.
Yeah, I'm talking about our bullshit talking.